Howdy, friends, and welcome to another thrilling episode of Extraordinary Strides. I'm your host, Coach Christine, and today we're setting off on the wildest run in the West, a journey through the adventurous spirit and magical storytelling that only Disney can deliver. From the dusty trails of Frontierland to the silver screen cowboys, we've rounded up everything you need to make your next run a frontier-inspired adventure. We're going to explore the rich history of Frontierland and the Western movies, serve up some mouth-watering Western eats, and even help you gear up with runner-friendly costumes. Please don't forget our specially curated Spotify playlist, Wild West Strides. You can find that in episode notes to keep your feet moving and your spirits high. So here and now, let's saddle up, let's lace those running shoes tight, and let's hit the trail, Extraordinary Strides style. All right, my friends, I am welcomed and so excited, thrilled to bring on in our special guest to the mic today, someone who not only knows her way through a race course or two, but she also knows her way around the wildest land in Disneyland world and beyond. Please give a warm welcome to Lynn Kenny. Lynn, I'm so excited to have you here, and I know you're going to be hosting our in-person themed run, so you can tell us all about that as well, but welcome on in.
Yeehaw! Thanks, Christine. I'm giddy as a goat in a cactus patch.
I mean, that sounds giddy.
About one of my favorite Disneylands, Frontierland.
I feel like you have helped me explore Frontierland more so in a way that I probably wouldn't have ventured in. And I've had a whole lot of fun. So thank you for that. So let's kick things off from the very beginning. Frontierland was one of Walt's original lands, wasn't it?
Yes, ma'am. It was indeed. When Disneyland opened in 1955, Frontierland was there, ready to transport guests back to the 1800s. Walt had a deep love for American folklore and the pioneering spirit, the Old West, and he wanted the guests to live those stories, not just look at them.
Okay. I mean, he didn't just imagine it, though. He truly built it. I heard that the wooden fort walls at the land's entrance were made from real ponderosa pine trees.
That's correct. And the buildings even designed to reflect how real boom towns evolved in the 1840s. So the architecture, it subtly modernizes as you walk through it, just like in history.
Tell me about Bonanza, I think, Outfitters. Bonanza Outfitters. That's a shop, right?
That is correct. But it's actually several buildings because Disney always likes that layered effect.
Yeah.
It's, if you think of Main Street or any of those storefront types of places, each storefront has its own facade, including the Crockett and Russell Hat Company. If you look up at the second story, you'll see a window that says Davy Crockett Coonskin Hat Company, Fess Parker proprietor, which is a tribute to the man who played Davy Crockett.
I love those details. I think that's one of my favorite aspects of all things Magic Kingdom is that there's so many little hidden nuggets, nuggets of gold, if you will. But I think that's amazing. But I also want to talk trees. You know that I love me some Halloween tree. Tell me a little bit more about that.
Well, just outside the Silver Spur facade is a humble oak that became a Halloween icon in each October. So it's a tribute to Ray Bradbury, who wrote a novel called The Halloween Tree in 2007. So Disney dedicated that tree to him.
Interesting. Okay. Again, I feel like when I grew up, I'd go into Magic Kingdom, but I didn't really understand all of the history. And I have to be honest with you, I don't think I even explored half of Frontierland as a kid. So let's get a little deeper into it. Can you tell me a bit about Mark Twain's riverboat?
Well, Walt and Lillian actually celebrated their 30th wedding anniversary on it 4 days before the park opened. So it was technically the first working Disneyland attraction. And
way.
Yeah, but even though it is on a track, that big paddle wheel on the back, that is totally real. And that's what actually pushes the boat through the rivers of America.
I mean, I feel like that is truly magical. And okay, so explain to me a little bit of the hierarchy of this system, because who yields to who on the rivers of America?
Oh yeah, there's definitely a pecking order there. So Mark Twain takes top priority, followed by the sailing ship Columbia. Then there's the Pirate Layers rafts, and then finally Davy Crockett Explorer canoes.
I mean, all of these are so pivotal. And again, I had no idea about any of this, but I feel like a lot of them are in play to take us over to Tom Sawyer Island, which is one of Walt's personal projects. But I know there's a lot going on with that. So tell me more, catch me up.
Well, that's the only Disneyland attraction designed entirely by Walt himself. He loved Mark Twain's works, wanted the kids to play in nature like Tom and Huck did. And he even brought dirt from Mississippi to mix with the island's soil for authenticity, which is interesting because the original caves are in Missouri, not in Mississippi, but that's okay. We'll give him a pass on that. But when we lived up in Iowa, we actually went to Hannibal, Missouri, which is where the actual caves that are talked about. And one of the interesting things that we found when we went to those caves is back in the day, they had, because you could get lost in those caves, as they did in the story of of Tom Sawyer's story. The children would all sign their names at the cave entrance. And at the end of the day, they would cross their names off to let the adults know that they had made it out of the caves. And if everybody wasn't crossed off, then they would set up a search party to go find the children who were missing. So it was very interesting.
Oh. Well, I don't think that happened at all at the parks, as far as I know.
It does not. It's a very short section, but I like the way it's one of my favorites to go to Tom Sawyer Island. And that no longer is accessible, but we would go. It was a nice, quieter place where you could sit in rocking chairs and relax, and you could go through the caves, and there was the fort and all of these secret tunnels and hidden passageways and the barrel bridge. The last time we were there, my grandson, who was 5 at the time, wanted to race me across the wooden barrels. He won.
So this is one of those areas that I did not explore until I was a full-on adult, and now I'm super, super sad because I think that it offered a great reprieve from all of the hustle and bustle that is Magic Kingdom or Disneyland's and all of that. But I think it's officially. Were you there for when the Magic Kingdom one said farewell? Because they're retheming it, but I'm not sure to what.
I was there. Not right before. I find that gets too crowded, and then it loses the nice of being quiet. Maybe a few months. It was probably in the spring that I went, knowing that it was coming to an end soon. But my grandson got to experience it at least once. I believe the new is still going to be along that Western theme and going to add a Cars area over that, kind of adding to the whole Frontierland and comparing with our main event that we've talked about, the Big Thunder Mountain.
Yeah, let's make our way over there, because that does make a whole lot of sense. I think it's Piston Peak National Park is what they're going to be doing over there. I'm looking forward to seeing what they come up with. But tell me a little bit about why we're all here.
Okay. Well, the ride didn't actually open until 1979 because it was replacing the mine train through nature's Wonderland. So it used to be a very slow train ride in Disneyland, and they switched it to the roller coaster. It was designed by Tony Baxter, and was the first roller coaster Disney ever created using computer modeling. Ooh. The ride is inspired by real locations like Monument Valley and Bryce Canyon, and Imagineers scoured swap meets in Wyoming and Nevada for authentic mining gear.
I see. This is another reason why I love Disney and all things of the parks. And it's truly magical because every single, even the ride queues are sometimes even the best part, because they have all these tiny little props, have tons of stories. There's tons of fun puns in this, in the queue as well. Now, explain to me a little bit about the town of Rainbow Ridge.
Well, that's the little town you pass by during the ride. And it was actually the original set from the mine train ride, but they wanted to preserve it and reimagine it for Big Thunder Mountain. It is not the exact same as the original, because when they tried to move it, it was eaten up with termites. It is a replica.
Okay.
It's okay. You will see a hotel window with a portrait of Barnabas T. Bullion. He's the fictional president of Big Thunder Mining Company, and he's modeled after Tony Baxter himself.
This is so cool. I feel like, honestly, we could probably spend a full, there should be college courses on just all the different aspects of these. I've also heard there's hidden horseshoes facing the wrong direction on the final lift hill. Is that true?
Yep. Right above your head in the dynamite scene Horseshoes usually face upward for good luck, but this one is flipped because, well, you're in a cursed mine.
Oh my goodness. That adds a little layer of creepiness to it. That's for sure. Okay. Well, before we wrap this up, I want to ask you, what do you think are some of the things that maybe guests miss when they're going to Frontierland that you feel like they should definitely check out?
Well, on the ride itself on Thunder Mountain, one thing to also watch for is the goat eating the dynamite. That is a very random thing, but it's like very popular and everybody wants to look for the goat. Another fun fact, I don't know if when they open it back up, if it will be working again, but in the queue line, there were places where you could push these plungers down and the ride actually responds to that and will shoot water up and kind of create the fake explosions for the people on the ride. So you can, while you're waiting in the queue, you can interact with the people on the ride itself.
They have to do that. They have to bring that back. Fun. I feel like that's one of the things that younger kids that are standing in these lines for a long time really find a lot of joy in doing. So I hope that they definitely bring that back. Now,
but I think also, though, the other thing I like with Frontierland, though, is we always like going to the Country Bear Jamboree. I was not sure how I felt because, with nostalgia, I enjoyed the first songs, but I do get the original song with the depressed bear of the blood on the saddle, blood on the ground, blood all around. I can see why they wanted to go away from that. But having the Country Bears sing some of the current Disney, inspired movie songs was really funny. I was just literally LOL, laughing out loud during that.
Seriously, me too. And I have, again, you to thank for it because I think I had not gone to Country Bear Jamboree since maybe I was 8 and definitely don't remember anything about it. It just didn't stand out to me. And I think I enjoyed it more now as an adult. And it really had hearty belly laughs. It was really, really funny, really entertaining. Plus you get out of the hot sun because it's nice and cool in there. So exactly. I think that's a must do, and I owe you for that. But we know too that I believe Country Bear Jamboree wasn't originally at Disneyland. Did that debut here in Magic Kingdom, or is it in different parks as well?
It was actually supposed to be at a ski resort, but that never happened. And so they wanted the Country Bears to do that, but then they transported them. So that was pretty interesting. Another interesting note, though, at Disneyland is there is a red stagecoach near the Big Thunder Trail, which used to be part of Knott's Berry Farm, but it has initials for WED, which is Walt Disney Imagineering's
acronym.
Logo.
Yeah,
right,
I love
acronym.
it.
But even in the W, it's shaped like the K from Knott's logo as a nod to Walt and Walter Knott's friendship. So apparently they were very good buddies, both having their theme parks.
I'm going to have to Google that afterwards. Now I want to see it because, again, talk about such wonderful little details that are dropped in that you just don't necessarily pay a whole lot of attention to.
Right.
Okay. So we're going to definitely check these things out. Tell me a little bit more about how maybe Frontierland across the globe may take on a completely different, or do they stay true to this whole Americana kind of Western world?
Well, as Disney does, they modify based on where they're at. So when they brought the Frontier to the swamps in Florida, it was a bigger, bolder version of the land because they have more land.
More space,
right?
yeah.
Frontierland at Magic Kingdom, it did start with the Country Bear Jamboree, and that was such a hit. It made a cornerstone of the park when it first opened.
Now, what about Tokyo Disneyland? Because I think that they do things a little differently there.
Indeed, they do. So over in Tokyo, they call it Westernland instead of Frontierland, mostly because the Japanese language doesn't really easily extinguish the R sound in Frontier. So it mirrors the American parks, but adds its own kind of charm, especially in how it weaves the Japanese appreciation for detail into the Old West theme. So their Big Thunder is gorgeous, and the waterfront theming is next level.
I feel like I need to go back. And I obviously still want to take a trip over to Disneyland Paris because I think that they take things to a whole new level with Thunder Mesa. But tell me a little bit more about that.
Absolutely. So Disneyland Paris has the most intricately themed version of Frontierland. It's not just a land, it's a whole town. Thunder Mesa. It has its own mining company, its own mayor, and even a cemetery with backstories that connect to Phantom Manor, which is their haunted mansion version. So they have it in Frontierland. So that makes it a cohesive story from the world, in the whole world, the moment you walk in.
Okay, so wait. In Magic Kingdom, we find Haunted Mansion kind of on the cusp of Frontierland and is it Fantasyland? Where does Haunted Mansion kind of live?
It's technically Liberty Square.
Is Liberty Square. Okay. And so Liberty Square is kind of where we start to then transition into Frontierland from there.
Correct. Yeah. So
Got it.
Right. So you have Liberty Square, which is the smallest, I believe, of the lands. So you have Frontierland, Liberty Square, and then Fantasy.
See, friends, I'm telling you, she knows everything. I can't even throw her off with a question like that because I didn't know how it translated over from Disneyland Paris. That's very cool. Again, there's so many immersive details. I kind of want to learn a little bit more about Frontierland Student Exposition. I heard it's changed over the years too.
Well, it has. Originally, it used real bullets. I don't know if you can imagine that nowadays, right?
I cannot, no.
Maintenance was a nightmare. They had to repaint the targets every night. And then it switched to the use of infrared lights. But interestingly enough, it is no longer, I don't know about Disneyland, but they actually removed it recently at Magic Kingdom.
Magic Kingdom, huh?
It no longer exists there. So I don't know what they're going to put there instead. I haven't heard anything, but it's no longer there.
Well, I know we're going to be talking about food in a later segment a little bit, but is there anything snack related that we should keep in mind before we have that official segment?
Yes. Well, at Rancho, there's Rancho del Zocalo. Mm-hmm. It was used to be called Casa de Fritos because, at the beginning, Disney didn't want to deal with food. And so he partnered with different food vendors to do the food. So Frito Company was one of them. But interestingly, one of the workers noticed unused tortillas being tossed out at the end of the day. So he suggested frying and seasoning them. And the result is Doritos. That's right. Doritos were born at Disneyland.
Shut the Frontierland door. I don't. Really? That is wild. Okay, now I have to ask, do you have a favorite Doritos flavor?
Probably Cool Ranch.
Okay, me too. That's my favorite as well. I just love the zestiness that it brings. Okay. Okay, well, friends, we're going to keep the zestiness going because I definitely want to circle back a little bit to Big Thunder because you've got so much great trivia. So what's the story behind the name of Big Thunder Mountain?
Okay, well, so the name comes from the mine train through nature's Wonderland. So there were two waterfalls in that original ride, Big Thunder and Little Thunder. So when the new coaster replaced the mine train, Disney decided to honor those names. As you know, with most new rides, there's some sort of a nod or a reminder of the ride that used to be there. So they keep that in play, which I love that about them.
Me too.
So they honored that. And you can still spot some of the old rides infrastructure if you know where to look.
Well, I mean, I feel like if there's anybody who knows where to look, it is you. So maybe if you don't mind dropping just a couple more little things for folks to look at next time that they go to the parks on their own where they can research.
Well, there's a tiny sign in the Big Thunder queue signed by Willard P. Bounds, who is Lillian Disney's father.
Ah, okay.
And we already talked about, looking for the horseshoe at the final lift. So we know to look for that one. And I think those are some of my favorites. Those little details. And then the fact that when you push the plungers, again, our Thunder Mountain in Magic Kingdom is still closed for refurbishment. So I'm just hopeful that the plungers causing the explosions will come back when they reopen, but we will see.
Okay, so we've got a lot of fun to take in store. Do we know when potentially we're going to be seeing it reopen, the attraction, or it's kind of still a little bit under hush?
Well, I mean, from the Disney chat sites, I think the thought is next year. So I don't think it's supposed to be until 2026, but that I could,
We will see.
That
we
is
will
not
see.
official. That's not official Disney.
Disney will do what Disney does, exactly, and we will find out when everybody else does as well. But until then, I have to say again, I want to thank you, because really, not only am I looking forward to the fact that you have hosted all of these really fun in-person events where you do bring a lot of that theming to each individual event, but also because you really do have such an incredible love for all things Disney World, that I think that sharing in that experience with you always gives me a little bit of a lift, a little pep in my step as well. So thanks for joining us. Okay, I love the tour. Oh, go ahead.
I am really excited about our upcoming event. We had looked at some different options, and I think we are going to stick with meeting at the Coronado Resort, because it just is the easiest. And as a side note, because of that, if there are people who need to run some longer miles, there are some options for that. So just, you can send me a message in the event page if you are needing more miles or anything like that. There are definitely easier options from that location. So that's one of the reasons we're sticking with that one.
Perfect. And I think it also has a little bit of a Southwestern flair. So we'll be able to have a bit of that adventure as well. So friends, join us on the Facebook page. It has all of the event information there, all the details. And you can also communicate with Lynn through our event chat to get any additional details or any questions that you may have. With that said, thank you so much for joining me, Lynn.
You're welcome.
All right, friends, up next we have Sally, and her and I are going to crack open the vault of Disney's Western movie magic, so don't go galloping off just yet. Now, you all know that I love a good ride through Frontierland, but I also love curling up with a Western that brings the dust, the drama, and the Disney magic right into my living room. And joining me today for this cinematic roundup is our trivia queen and host of the Extraordinary League's movie nights, and of course, Disney aficionado, Sally Wyant. Sally, welcome back to the pod.
Howdy, Christine. I've been chomping at the bit to talk about all these films. Disney has such a unique way of putting heart and humor into even the most dustiest of Westerns.
Friends, and she's not kidding. She has done so much research. She sent me a bunch of texts with things that she had found, because I was like, I don't know that we're going to be able to really do a lot with the movie aspect of this. She's like, oh, wait, hold on to my cowboy hat, because I got you, girl. So I love that Disney doesn't just recreate the West. They reimagine it through folklore and family and some serious frontier flair. I want to kick things off, if that's okay, Sally. I know you did a lot of the bulk of the work of this, but I think right out of the gate that there's that Davy Crockett, King of the Wild Frontier. And that is the film that, of course, launched, a whole big fashion style of having those hats, those caps with the little raccoon tail.
Yes, absolutely. Faz Parker as Davy Crockett was the original frontier influencer. This film was a compilation of episodes from the TV series but it hit the big screen with this catchy anthem and unforgettable scenes of Crockett's exploits, even at the ending at the Alamo, which I feel like movies, if you hear an anthem to a movie or even TV show back in the day, you can instantly know what movie or film your TV show you're talking about.
100%. There is something so I think that whoever does the cinematic scores deserves so much credit and accolades, because there is something super. We could think of all sorts of movies that we know it from the theme song. So I still even get chills hearing that song. And of course, we know that movie sparked a merchandising boom with hats and lunchboxes, the works, and of course, this is one of my favorites. I actually remember watching this. This goes back to Florida Public Education school days, where we watched movies at school. But next one up is Old Yeller. I know it's more of a frontier family film than a shootout Western, but this one, I don't even know why they played it in school. Tears, of course.
Yes, and we just watched this recently with my kiddos, so it's an emotional. Old Yellow is an emotional core memory material. It's about loyalty, coming of age, and heartbreak. It was also one of the first Disney films to really embrace that naturalistic storytelling, and we can't forget that there's a sequel to it called Savage Sam, that took things up a notch with more action and a very brave doggo. And I love myself a dog.
I know, I love dog films, but I have to ask, what did your kids think about it? Because I mean, did they feel?
They were so sad. They were so sad. It's wrong. It's wrong.
It is. It is wrong.
It's wrong on so many levels. If
I
you're a dog person, you know it's wrong.
Yeah. Oh well. We'll focus on the happy, brave doggies that. So let's talk a little bit more about being brave with Tonka. This is, of course, one of the lesser known gems, but it does pull at your heartstrings again with a wild stallion, Native American stories, and the Battle of Little Bighorn all rolled into one.
Yeah, it's like definitely a unique one. It tells the tale from the horse's perspective in many ways, showing a full arc of loyalty, hardship, and survival. And the fact that Tonka is the only survivor from that battle, it's like just a gut punch to me.
I mean, there's clearly a theme going on with these Westerns. There's some tear-jerking themes. There's no doubt about it. But okay, let's go on to Treasure of Matecumbe, which I like to call Disney's Frontier meets a little bit of Goonies Adventures, which again, core memory of Goonies. So it's got a hidden map, a treasure quest, real scenic filming locations. It's just got a little bit of everything for me.
Yes, and I totally agree. It was shot between locations in Florida and California, and it has that blend of mystery and humor that's like the signature of Disney. Mm-hmm. Young Davy and his Monty crew are on the run from the villains and hurricanes, which is signature for Florida. And it's rainy. This movie is a great rainy day flick.
Absolutely. From hopefully, nobody's having to watch this during the hurricanes, but still, it is definitely a really good one. Or maybe a good one after you got your morning run in, and then we've got those thunderstorms in the afternoon rolling in, a little bit of rest day afterwards. So I like that. But of course, we're going to keep this going. One of my favorites, the Apple Dumpling Gang. I mean, Don Knotts and Tim Conway, peak buddy comedy energy in the Old West, which I love that too. When I think a lot of this kind of genre, there is a lot of that friend, core, tight knit community that comes to mind, be it with your dog or with an actual human friend. So I do love that they have that as well.
Yeah, and those two are magic. The original film is just pure fun, and the sequel, The Apple Dumplings Gang Rides Again, brings even more hijinks. It's slapstick gold, and the chemistry between the two of them is what made both the films so lovable. And actually researching this, these are movies that I'm going to be showing my kiddos here when they get home.
Oh, I'm so excited about that because I think that this is kind of what keeps Disney magic going. Some of these are clearly before our time, but we watched them with our family or our parents or maybe even some grandparents, and then having that continue on is always what's so exciting about these movies. But I know that people forget about this next movie, but the Bullwhip Griffin is absolutely bonkers. It's delightful, and it's like a butler turned prize fighter in the Gold Rush era. It's just a little quirky and weird and a lot of fun.
Yes, and Roddy McDowall gave this film so much charm. It's one of those rare Disney Westerns that isn't about cowboys per se, but instead tells a wacky underdog story full of clever twists. And the costume design, I have to give it an A+ for the 1860s flair. I have to.
As of course, we've got Sally sporting her full Western gear for this recording, my friend. So again, if she's giving it an A+, you know that you guys are going to you're in for a treat. But what's crazy is that, again, as I remember specifically us having a conversation, I was like, I don't think we're going to find a lot of movies to talk about. And you're like, again, hold on to my cowboy hat. I'm shocked there's so many. But this next one is The Sign of Zorro. It's such a classic. Guy Williams is iconic as Don Diego. The film was cut together from the original TV series that Disney had, and it gave audiences this dashing little swashbuckling hero who fought injustice with rapier and a little bit of a wink, which I love that it's got a nod for the adults. There's a little bit of witty humor and dialogue that the adults can get, but the kids will just love the aspect of the action of it all.
Yes, and I agree. I always say Zorro was the Disney's original Cape Crusader. I know everyone likes them, Superman and other ones, but I'm always a fan of Zorro.
Yeah.
And the sword play at Karate Creek was absolutely fantastic. It still holds up. It's a hidden gem, I have to say.
Now, tell me a little bit more about Scandalous John. I think that's a new one that I've not really heard a lot about, but I know that you uncovered quite a bit of details with these hidden gems. So tell me more about that one.
Yeah, this one's like, I didn't even really hear about till researching. It's a really hidden gem. Don Quixote reimagined as a grumpy old rancher played by Brian Keith. He's out to reclaim justice, one fantastic misadventure at a time, accompanied by his faithful square Paco. It's offbeat, whimsical, and surprisingly heartfelt.
So what I think we're getting a theme of is these Westerns have like a little bit of like this like rascally energy that kind of really energizes and brings a lot of humor. There's a lot of like wholesomeness, but still a lot of fun aspects to it. So yeah, I think it's super cute. I love that they reimagined like such a classic tale. It's also one of those like, wait, what did I just watch movies in the best possible way. So next up is Return to Snowy River. Okay, now you guys are going to have to bear with me. It's not technically the American West. I got you. I know you guys are all going to come at me, but it's got that rugged pioneer spirit and it's set in the Australian frontier, which of course, since I'm going to Sydney soon, I'm excited about that. So I think Return to Snowy River should have at least a little star here as something that people should watch into.
I mean, we had to throw something in that's Australian,
right?
To, like it being added with the World Marathon Major.
Yeah,
so it has gorgeous landscape. It's dramatic horsemanship, sweeping score. It's like the man from Snowy River took everything good from the first film and dialed it up. Bruce Ronald's music won awards, and honestly, it makes me want to get out and gallop on a horse.
See, I'm telling you, friends, which of course I'm gonna go ahead and drop in that while I'm not necessarily a cinematographer, musical score genius, that we do have a soundtrack for the Wild West Strides playlist you guys can check out. But of course, speaking of galloping, the castaway cowboy, James Garner, ends up on a Hawaiian island and teaches cattle ranching. And it makes me just giggle so much.
I know, it's the Wild West with a tropical twist, a fish out of water story that low stakes and totally charming. Garner is effortlessly likable, and it shows how Disney isn't afraid to stretch out the boundaries of the genre.
Yeah, I mean, again, there's just so many hits. I mean, we're going to keep them coming, friends. So you guys, I hope that, I know you're maybe out for a run, and if you don't have this entire list, don't worry, we could always send it your way. Just shoot us a message, because there's another one that defies expectations. It's The Miracle of the White Stallions. Now, okay, we're in Vienna. It is during World War II, but it's all about saving the Lippenzinner horses. So I think horses, I automatically think Western as well.
Yes, you can't have a Western without a horse. I mean, and this was a true story too. So Colonel, I'm gonna butcher this name. I apologize. Podhasky.
I'm gonna say it's just Colonel, but
Colonel. Please don't take offense to whoever is relatives of this person. Risked everything to rescue those horses. It's elegant, dramatic, and an emotional salute to both human and animal resistance. And if you love historical dramas with a Western agile feel, this one is definitely worth revisiting.
I think, again, that's what's so great about this genre is like there's some humor, there's a lot of ironically, there's a lot of like human emotion element, specifically with the animals. So that one's definitely atop the list for me. Now let's talk a little bit about Hot Lead and Cold Feet. I mean, the title alone on that one, I have so many visions coming into my head just from that title.
I know, I absolutely love the title of the movie. This one is a comedy chaos in the Wild West. This has Jim Dale in it, who plays twin brothers. One's a preacher and the other one's a gunfighter, vying for their inheritance. Don Knotts plays the sheriff, and he's hilarious in it. It's goofy and over the top in the most delightful way.
Okay, seriously, that one does sound like it needs to go to the top of the list. That sounds just like a good, hearty family like watch for sure. And speaking of that family-friendly fun, of course, there's the Great Locomotive Chase. Now, this one's more adventure than comedy, but it's still one of Disney's best historical dramas.
Yes, and it has Fess Parker again in this. He stars in this true Civil War story about Union spies trying to sabotage a Confederate train. It's suspenseful, grounded, and brings real history to life in a way that only Disney could.
Okay, and then finally, as we start to round this up, let's give a shout out to John Carter because yes, it's a little sci-fi, but there's no denying that it feels like a space Western.
Yeah, like 100%. I mean, I remember watching this, and when you initially think of it, you see the aliens and stuff, you don't think of it. But if you look at it, it has a Confederate soldier in it. He gets teleported to Mars. He joins a rebel, rides alien beasts. It's like a classic Western modified in a new galaxy. So it was ahead of its time, but it's finally getting the appreciation it finally deseres.
It's giving me a little bit of like Space Aliens meet Star Wars, and it feels a little bit like there's a little hodgepodge of all of the genres that come together, but of course it's still absolutely a must watch. So friends, while we have reached the end of our cinematic roundup, if you're still looking to relive the West in all its Disney-fied glory, you have definitely got plenty of options. So cue up that Disney Plus channel. We're going to link the full list in the episode notes.
Yeah, so pick a movie, start it, pair the film with a themed snack, throw on those boots, and ride into the sunset from your stallion called the couch.
Exactly. I'm going to definitely take off my cowboy boots for that, though, but I will wear my cowboy hat. Yes. Sally, thank you again for taking us on this incredible ride through the wild, wacky, and of course, wonderful Westerns of Disney. And to all of our listeners, don't go anywhere. We've still got food, costumes, and more coming up with Kimba Watson right after this. Friends, we have galloped through the frontier and we have cantered past the cinematic West, and now it's time to refuel, of course, Western style. I'm so excited to welcome one of my favorite foodies and fabulous runners, Kimba Watson. And Kimba, welcome to the pod again.
Thank you, Christine. I'm ready to dig into the delicious side of the Disney frontier. If there's a cornbread crumb or cowboy fry worth knowing about, I've tasted it.
Again, 100%. I believe that. That's why we love you. Let's start where it all began, though. Of course, let's take it all the way to Disneyland and Anaheim. What's cooking over in Frontierland these days?
Oh, plenty. Let's talk about the Golden Horseshoe Saloon first. Not only is it packed with show tunes and Western flair, but it's also serving up crispy chicken tenders, my favorite, hearty wraps, and my other personal favorite, the Roy Rogers sandwich. It's like dining in a live stage show. So fun.
Wait, are you a chicken tender kind of gal?
I am. I am. All the chicken tenders from all the places, and yeah.
We'll have to do a personal Kimba ranking of all the chicken tenders.
And then sauces too. We got to have the sauces to go with the chicken tenders. So.
Okay. So that sounds exciting. Well, in the meantime, we'll also check out those cowboy fries because I think they've got them over there as well. They're loaded up with nacho beef, cheese, and pickles, which sounds a little weird to me. I guess it's like a cheeseburger meets a French fry in the best possible way.
Yeah, that sounds really good. And then exactly just across the way is the Hungry Bear Barbecue Jamboree, which used to be tucked into Frontierland, but now borders Bayou Country. It's a double-decker rustic paradise where you can grab smoked meats, tangy barbecue sauce, and sides that scream summer picnic, which I love a summer picnic. So fun.
Yeah, actually all of that now, we're definitely up my alley right here. Well, let's go ahead and hop on over, just take a little plane trip back over to Magic Kingdom and Walt Disney World. What are we mentioning on over here?
Actually, my favorite is going to be Pico's Bill's Tall Tale Inn, and is the place to be. It's a Tex-Mex haven with loaded nachos, tacos, Southwest burgers. The topping bar is my absolute favorite. So fun. It's like you can almost make a whole meal out of the topping bar itself and just put anything you think of that needs to go on nachos or tacos or your burgers. They have it at that bar. It is legendary.
I think people sleep on the Picos too. I think it's like the perfect little spot to like just dip in real quick. Plus it's so nice in there. Like there's so many different places to sit. So yeah. I'm a big fan of it as well.
And then, yeah, with the nachos, you can always split them with someone too, which is a fantastic split snack if you want something just to snack on.
See, Kimba, that goes to show just how amazing you are, that you're willing to split your snacks with the people around you. Because I mean,
sometimes.
Well, I've also seen that folks that camp out for the fried green tomato sandwich over at Golden Oak Outpost. I've not tried it yet. Have you?
Oh my gosh, it's worth it. I love a good fried green tomato sandwich. And it's served with this zesty sauce. It's a Southern bite with a Disney twist. And Golden Oak itself has other gems like chicken sandwiches and on a hot day, refreshing frozen drinks that'll cool you down faster than a breeze on Big Thunder Trail.
We're all needing those refreshing frozen drinks right about now.
Oh, yes.
So let's say we're going to head over to the Diamond Horseshoe and Westward Ho. Tell me a little bit more about these two locations.
Those two bring the sit-down saloon experience. At Diamond Horseshoe, think roast beef, turkey platters, and again, cornbread muffins big enough to share. Westward Ho is more of a grab and go, but you'll find classics like corn dogs and Mickey pretzels. It's small but mighty.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so I feel like we have just started to scratch the surface of all the deliciousness here in Magic Kingdom, but let's go ahead and jump on that jumbo jet and head over to Tokyo. Westernland's dining game is strong too, isn't it?
It's really strong. Cowboy Cookhouse is their star player. Barbecue chicken, ribs, and delicious smoked sausage combos. And of course, they also have their own version of Pico's Bill Cafe and the Diamond Horseshoe, where the theming is next level and the meals are hearty.
I mean, I think we should get our visa stamped so we could head over there and get some of these meals. But I also want to go to Paris as well. I've heard nothing but rave reviews about Thunder Mesa.
Thunder Mesa's Cowboy Cookout Barbecue is a feast and a show. Live country music, half chicken with seasoned potatoes, and bacon cheeseburgers that are a chef's kiss. The Lucky Nugget Saloon offers show dining with family-style meals. And for steak lovers, Silver Spur Steakhouse is a must. Open flame cooking in a Western Lodge setting. Yes, please.
I mean, I think all these places sound a whole lot of fun. There's no doubt about it. And I love that even they have burrito and quesadilla spots like Puente del Oro and Last Chance Cafe. It's like every corner of Frontierland delivers a different regional take on cowboy cuisine.
Absolutely. From churros near the Horseshoe to cinnamon rolls at Pico Bill's, Frontierland is where your hunger rides off into the sunset completely satisfied. If you're not full when you leave there, then I don't know.
You did it the wrong way.
Exactly.
And I can tell you my stomach is not full right now. My stomach's growling, Kimba. I feel like I want to go dine at all of these locations. But I want to say thank you for galloping through the Disney parks and giving us this culinary roundup.
Anytime, Christine, but don't untie those laces just yet. We've still got fun costumes to talk about because what's a themed run without the perfect costume?
And honestly, Kimba, I don't know like what you would be like if we were to have to rate, like what does Kimba know more about? Like where the fun places to get snacks and drinks are at the parks or costuming? I feel like, girl, these are your wheelhouse. So
Absolutely.
you tell me what should we be prepared for this run?
Actually, the Wild West is full of lots of inspiration. Whether you're going rugged, refined, or a little ridiculous, there's something for everyone.
So what should we? Yeah,
go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Well, so what should we potentially prepare for?
Well, we've got cowboy or cowgirl runner. You could pair running shorts or leggings with a lightweight moisture wicking plaid shirt. Top it off with a breathable cowboy hat or a headband designed to look like a bandana. Don't forget your faux sheriff's badge for extra authenticity. Also, with the bandana, don't forget all that sparkle. If you want to add any fun sparkle to it, bedazzle it. I mean, come on. A rhinestone cowboy? Yes, please. I think
Lynn may have actually tackled this number one, and she may have had a special pair of leggings that looked a little bit more cowgirly too. So I think, again, you guys, all of the all the different things to tackle. What else could we wear if maybe we aren't going to go that route?
Also, there's the Pioneer Runner. You can opt for a simple bonnet or straw hat and match it with a lightweight flowy blouse and skirt made from performance fabric. Add a running-friendly apron with pockets to stash those energy gels or snacks.
Ooh, okay, anything that allows us to have more snacks as part of our running gear, I am definitely down with that one.
And then we also have the sheriff runner, sport black or brown running shorts, a tech fabric shirt resembling a sheriff's uniform, and add a sheriff star pen securely. Consider wrist cuffs that resemble old-timey cuffs for a finishing touch.
That might be interesting to run with. And I mean, I definitely have seen some violations on the race course a couple times or two, so maybe they would come in handy. I'm kind of digging maybe that saloon server runner, trying like there's so many great companies that make a lot of like these corset inspired running tanks that you can find, pairing those with running shorts or a skirt and adding a small lightweight apron again to carry a tray, maybe from foam, even though we've seen some folks at RunDisney who have carried full on like balancing acts of trays.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I
also think a fun feather like out, like with a little headband would be super cute too.
Like a little fascinator.
Yes.
Oh, I dig it. Okay. Okay. I dig it. And I can dig some gold also as a gold prospector runner. So maybe again, making sure that we're being conscious of some like sweat wicking fabrics, but you could wear some more earth tones, maybe get some suspenders over your running shorts, accessorize with a faux beard, a little lightweight miner's hat, or maybe some of the runners actually already have like a full-on beard. This might be their costume. And I would say consider like a little mini pan or foam gold nuggets, or maybe even like that miner's hat with a little light, which could also come in handy depending what time of day folks are running.
That would be really fun too. I like that one. Very creative.
And I think that this next one, Kimba, I would say that this one should go along with your official sheriff runner. We should have an outlaw bandit runner. So I think like people that are looking for costumes or they want to go running with their besties. So again, this was a little bit easier, thinking kind of Jesse James, so a little bit rough and tumble outlaw look. Maybe again that tech fabric bandana. Maybe not as sparkly though. I don't know. I don't know if I feel like that sparkly with this one.
Also, I think it would be fun to get like a bag and put like a money sign on it or something. Like you just left the bank with the money and you're running, and then the sheriff's running after you. You have a friend with the sheriff costume on. That would be hysterical.
I hope somebody does tackle this. I want to see this. I feel like this would be a super fun costume for couples for sure. What else do you have in mind, Kimba? Because I feel like you have just started to scratch the surface.
More. We've got the rodeo rider runner. You can combine running tights or shorts with faux chaps crafted from breathable fabric. Add a brightly colored running top and accessorize with a lightweight cowboy hat and gloves to complete your rodeo persona. And this one I think would be fun if you could get somebody to dress like a cow or something and have horns. Like that would be another fun pair.
And I feel like if we're going to go rodeo, I think this is like where the sparkles can totally 100% head to toe.
Yes.
Like truly. Yes. Oh, okay.
Yes,
I dig that.
That is your rhinestone cowboy right there, the rodeo.
Oh, I love it.
And then finally, too, another one I think where you can use a lot of rhinestones and fun stuff is going to be that Western movie hero runner, right? Your hero. Yeah. You can also channel iconic characters like Woody from Toy Story or even Jessie, the Lone Ranger, with running gear customized to reflect these famous Western heroes, including themed shirts, hats, and accessories.
I mean, I think right here, like for a RunDisney race, Woody and Jessie is about as good as it gets. So I love that ability. And again, tons of places on the interwebs for folks to find these or even borrow some of like their kids' costume accessories. I think is always something that I find that people neglect to dip into. I'm totally obsessed with these because I think that this is a whole lot of fun. And I think that for this specific race, I might be even more excited than all the others because I think there's just so many fun theming. So I want to thank you so much for lending us all of your expertise because Kimba, I'm not kidding you. Like you take it to the next level. I'm a little curious if you're willing to share. What would you potentially dress up as? Or are you going to tell us? Or are you going to give us a little bit of preview here? Or we're just going to have to wait for the socials?
I mean, lately, I don't know. It's Pink Pony, so the Pink Pony Club. I'm digging that. Okay, I can't wait to see that on the socials. Sparkle and pink and rhinestones, maybe. We'll see.
I love it. Well, thank you again so much for coming on board and giving us all of your knowledge and maybe a little hint or two as to what we're going to see Kimba sporting on her costume.
Again, thanks for having me, Christine. Let's get out there and make the wildest run in the West the most stylish one, too.
Absolutely. And friends, that wraps up this rippin', roarin', rootin' tootin' episode of Extraordinary Strides. A big old thank you to our incredible guests. I couldn't do it without you, Lynn Kenny, for guiding us through the history and hidden gems of Frontierland, Sally for rounding up those best Disney Westerns this side of Mississippi, and Kimba Watson or of course keeping us stylish and well fed with all the best bites and costumes from the trail. And to you, our very amazing, extraordinary runners, thank you for joining us through this wildest run in the West. Whether you're walking through those dusty trails, racing through Thunder Mesa, or strutting your cowboy best on the treadmill, we are here for every single step of it. Remember, the fun continues all weekend long in our podcast Facebook group, so don't miss out. We've got games, themed challenges, and the chance to show off your costumes and medals, virtual or otherwise. So grab that bandana, fill up your water bottle, and ride up into the virtual sunset with us. Until next time, keep striding with heart, grit, and just a whole lot of bit of yeehaw spirit.